The town of Dartmouth has a long track record of caring for and listening to young people. The town formed the Youth Commission way back in 1968, and later created the position of Youth Advocate. Now, there have been several. Kevin Lee, I guess, may have been the longest one in that position. He filled that position for many years, more than 30 years, until his retirement. The current Youth Advocate is Jennifer Cabral, and she's talking with us today about the position of Youth Advocate and about a fundraiser that she's asking the community to contribute to. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
You have been the Youth Advocate for several years.
I have, since September of 2015.
And what attracted you to the position, first off? This is not your first rodeo in terms of working with kids and also counseling and all of those kind of things. Give us a little bit about your background. Let's start with that.
Well, I moved to Massachusetts about 20 years ago, and I remember learning about Kevin Lee's position and saying, I want that. I want to do what he does. And so when his position became available, I immediately applied for it. It's just such a rewarding position, working with the community, working with all of the different individuals within the community, as well as the students and the parents. It's just a great job. But
it's a fairly unique job in terms of what communities do in this field. I mean, lots of communities have recreation programs for young people. Lots of communities may do, maybe a couple of times a year, do some things that work with families and kids. But this position is permanent. It's full-time, and you are working directly with the kids in Dartmouth. Now, but it is unique.
It is very unique.
Yeah. So what is it exactly that you do, without obviously treading on confidentiality issues, but tell us what the job entails.
Well, every day is different. Basically what we do is kind of during the summertime, I'll meet with the schools, police department, and different people within the community and say, okay, what do we want to focus on for the school year? What are some of the hot topic issues that are affecting our youth? What are some things that we want to provide the parents as far as education is concerned, the community? Some of the things that we focused on over the last couple of years is definitely with the rise in the opioids. So we have gotten, individuals to come in and do presentations to our students within the schools. They also come in and do presentations to the community. We've addressed the issue on suicide and depression through bringing a curriculum into the schools called SOS, so Signs of Suicide. So I go into the health classes, 8th and 10th grade, and present this curriculum to the kids. Working individually with kids, running groups, working with parents, working with community. I do a lot of work with the police department. Last year we did a PSA on drinking and driving, which we had the entire community involved. And I also work closely with Bishop Stang as well as the university.
And while it sounds like you're very much involved in the community, you also work with individual students, with individual youngsters who are referred to you by, it could be their teachers, could be their parents, could be, just about anybody, police chief, police department, could be anyone. You work with those individual youngsters who may be having some difficulties.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And am I correct? That's where the referrals come from?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a guidance counselor, social worker, teacher, parents, student themselves can refer themselves to my program. Absolutely.
And you discuss life issues with them. You discuss and how to overcome them, or the best ways to address them. Can you give me a hypothetical, maybe something that you've seen or heard, without, again, any names or anything like that involved?
Sure.
Yeah.
We definitely have a rise within our community around transgendered youth. And now that the society is being more supportive around these type of students, I'm getting a couple of referrals, around transgender and kind of supporting them and how do they fit in and, how does bullying play a factor and, just to kind of get them to be able to function on a day-to-day basis given the struggles that they experience with this.
And this is happening Of course, Dartmouth isn't the only place these kinds of issues are happening, but in fact, this is happening in many places. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel in these cases, but you are trying to help them through with some good advice, hopefully, about how they can meet these issues. Isn't it the most important thing, though, is you're giving kids a place to come, sit down, discuss these things in a supportive environment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why is that important?
Just so students feel like they have a place to go. That they have somebody that they can talk to outside of the school. I think that's why this position is so unique, is a lot of people will say, well, why are you any different than the school social worker? We give them the opportunity to have that person outside of a school setting. We also give them the opportunity to meet outside of a school hours. So I am available to them after school hours as well as to parents as well. So it's nice to kind of be working with the schools but being a little bit separate from the schools.
Do you consider yourself a counselor or a friend or maybe all of the above, advisor? Do you consider yourself all of those things?
I do. So we are kind of in the process of changing a little bit of the wording around within the job description of the youth advocate. We don't necessarily provide direct psychotherapy counseling. We provide supportive services. So a student comes in and, again, giving them good advice, guiding them in the right direction, making referrals to a psychotherapist. At this point, we're actually hoping that once we kind of change the job description around a little bit, I'd also be able to provide that psychotherapy to them as well.
Mm-hmm. What are the duties of the Youth Commission? They're a little bit different. Mm-hmm. What are they all about?
So we meet once a month. There's a board. I think we have about 6 on there right now. They're kind of there to kind of govern and create policy and procedure. When we meet once a month, we kind of talk about, okay, what are some things that we think are important, and then how do I then go ahead and implement that. So they kind of keep me in line and kind of help pick and choose what's the most important things to focus on.
So, just to be clear, these aren't youngsters.
No, they're adults.
They're adults.
Yes.
Adults from the community of Dartmouth.
Yes. Yep. And so anybody can, if anybody's interested, I think we might have 1 or 2 slots opening on the Youth Commission. It's an amazing opportunity to get involved with your community and, again, to help kind of be the voice for youth.
How often does the commission meet?
Once a month.
All right.
It's usually a Monday night at 6:30, but we're flexible with times and days.
You counsel young people, advise them, talk to them. You work one-on-one with youngsters. You speak with parents, and you work with so-called at-risk youngsters in the town. Was the job always perceived as the youth advocate as someone who would step into these crisis kind of situations? Was it always like that?
It pretty much was. I mean, I can speak for at least what Kevin's job was. I don't know what the previous youth advocates had done. But yeah, I mean, we've just recently changed it. The position was a 24-hour on-call crisis position. We have changed it to like an 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. As far as, reaching out, and if we make appointments, obviously it would be different. But yeah, we definitely provide that supportive services.
But in a crisis, you're available.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. They would just contact the police department first, and then the police would contact me.
You're listening to Townsquare Sunday. I'm Jim Phillips, and my guest is Jennifer Cabral, the youth advocate for the town of Dartmouth. So tell us about this ongoing fundraiser that you're working on, which right now is titled Christmas in July.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so last year we serviced over 23 families with about 40-something children. And so what we do is we get referrals from the schools in the community, and then we provide holiday baskets for Thanksgiving and Christmas time. And also during Christmas time, each child that's on our family list also gets a toy. They get a coat or a sweatshirt. And if there's another need, we help to try to fill that as well. So last year was very difficult. It was overwhelming between Thanksgiving and Christmas with trying to get donations and put together holiday baskets. So I thought, why not have a Christmas in July? So we set up a Christmas tree at the Council on Aging, at the library, as well as the town hall. And on those Christmas trees are tags, and there are $15 gift card requests: Target, Stop and Shop, Walmart, Shaw's. And really those would be then for me, once we identify the families and identify the needs, then I would take those gift cards and I would go out and shop for the families and the students.
Again, Dartmouth only. This is a Dartmouth only.
Yes, it's Dartmouth residents only.
Okay. And so what I asked you about before we came on the air was, gee, you're going to continue to fundraise or continue to collect gift cards after July, because there's only
couple of days left of
couple
July.
of days left in July. So you are going to be collecting after July.
Absolutely. We'll collect right up until Christmas.
Yeah. Those trees will be up.
Yes.
Will remain up.
They will remain up. Last year we had a family that had come in from another area, had moved into our school district, a family of 5. And we made sure that I want to say the referral might have come in on December 22nd or 23rd, and we made sure that every kid in that home, as well as the family, had stuff for Christmas.
How can somebody donate, Jennifer?
So they can contact me directly. I can give my work cell number. It's 508-951-9551. And they can contact me directly for donations. You can go into the town hall, into the human resource office. I have a mailbox in there. You can just let them know that you're making a donation, and they can put it into my mailbox. I'm not always in my office, but if I'm there, I'm located on the bottom floor in room 118.
Okay. And how many families did you serve again last year?
About 23.
All right. Very good. What's the most challenging part of this work for you?
Oh, boy.
Well, there's more. I'm sure every case is different, but what do you find most challenging?
I think I would have to say that I feel like our town still has a little bit of stigma related to some of these issues. We do have an opioid crisis in Dartmouth. We do have children that are struggling with depression and anxiety, and I think just kind of breaking down that stigma and letting people know that it's okay to talk about it, and that it's okay to attend these community events, and it's okay that if somebody's struggling to reach out. That's what we're here for, and that's what my job is all about. And I'd like to see more people, kind of take that leap and attend our community events, because they're extremely helpful.
All right. Do you have one coming up?
We don't have anything coming up. I'm waiting to meet with the superintendent within the next week or two. And then what I do is I put it on our website, and the superintendent also posts it on their website. So if you're looking at, what's coming up, you can go on those two.
What's your website address?
You would just go under Town of Dartmouth, and then you would click under Youth Services or Youth Advocate, and then it would bring you right to my page. And then the Dartmouth school is, Dartmouth schools, and then you would go into administration to the superintendent, and she puts her stuff up there.
The most worthwhile part of the job?
Just working with the students, seeing them smile at the end of the day, knowing that you've made a change in their lives and that you've impacted, and just working with the kiddos. Yeah.
And you've had a few successes, I'm sure?
I hope to say yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Dartmouth is a busy place, lots of things going on. How supportive has the town been for this position and for what you do?
Amazing. I want to say the first week I walked in the door, the Board of Health and I were already partnering on the opioid crisis. We co-founded COPE, which is a coalition that addresses opioid issues and other substance abuse issues. Police department have jumped on. We've partnered with them to do a PSA on drinking and driving. Bishop Stang and the university have jumped on board with us. The schools have been over-the-top supportive. Superintendent Bonnie Gifford is amazing. I email her and say, hey, we're going to get together and, chat, and she gets right back to me, and we meet. And the new town administrator, I've already sat down with him, and he's basically open to, the program and wants to learn more about it. Select board has been super supportive. So yeah.
That's great because everybody rowing the same way. That's always important in these programs. Well, my guest has been Jennifer Cabral, the youth advocate for the town of Dartmouth. Thanks very much.